Welcome to this ICF Slalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to this third episode of Series 5. Thanks for joining me. Delighted to be venturing out into a fifth year of the podcast. Today we bring you results and insights from the World Cup final in Canoe, Spain, plus results of the overall World Cup series. Today we have contributions from Maialen Chourraut from Spain, Jiri Prskavec from Czechia, Miquel Trave from Spain, and Anatole Delassus from France. Canoe de Gel, tucked up in the Spanish Pyrenees, is always a favourite among both athletes and spectators. I find it remarkable that our podium ranged from a 17-year-old to a 45-year-old. Miquel Trave from Slovakia stood on the World Cup podium for a 43rd race medal. Miquel had already won the World Cup Series 4 times by the time Miquel Trave from Slovenia was born. He took a first World Cup race win and overall second in the 2024 series. If we needed another illustration, 41-year-old Peter Kauser from Slovenia finished third in the overall World Cup Series, while 19-year-old Xavier Farazzi from Italy made 2 senior World Cup finals. I could go on. Rio Olympic Champion Maialen Chourraut, now 41, took another home win, in which we had Olympian Emma Viton from France, just 20, take second overall in the 2024 World Cup Series. So much to say in dissecting this thrilling conclusion to the World Cup Series. Our race winners were Jiri Prskavec from Czechia, Maialen Chourraut from Spain, Jess Fox from Australia, and Seo local Miquel Trave. Another strong performance for Team GB in Kayak Cross, with 3 of the 6 available medals, with wins for Mallory Franklin and Joe Clark. This meant Team GB topped the medal table, 2 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze, ahead of host nation Spain, 2 gold and 1 silver. Let's start today with Miquel Trave.
So yeah, I'm so happy about this last World Cup in slalom. Despite I was not in the final in K1, I was really close. I couldn't find myself. I couldn't find a good line. I couldn't feel free in the water to go into the finals. So I stayed in 13th position. And in C1, obviously, I'm also really happy to close and finish the season in this way. It's the best way possible, obviously, winning World Cup, and it's at home, so it's really good. And yeah, being able to be the fastest in semifinals and the fastest in final, and winning with a touch that it was also like it's giving extra pressure during the run. So I'm really happy, and I'm happy that people from Canoe and from club and all of the people around were enjoying. And at the same time, obviously, it's always good to be in podium with Ryan Wesley. We already have been in some together, but also with Michal Martikan, it's incredible to share podium with him. I did in 2019, but in teams here in Walls in Canoe, but this time it's individual. It's World Cup, like individual. It's more serious. I don't know how I would describe, but I don't know. I'm happy with it, and to be able to share podium with a legend like him, it's so good. And before the podium, we were talking that his last podium was in 2017, 7 years ago. So it's really good to see him back up there, and I'm really happy to be there to share it with him.
That was Miquel Trave, Spanish winner in C1 men at the World Cup 5. He talked to us from home in Canoe, Spain. Next, Rio Olympic champion, the lovely Maialen Chourraut.
I'm happy how I finally finished the season, because I went to Paris with an illusion about do something beautiful in the Olympics, but finally it was hard Olympic for me, hard race. I didn't know how to be in the situation, and it was very hard. And I was very happy, really happy with Pau, with how he was racing, how he was having his best times in the Olympics, like all the time. but with myself, it was hard. So I came back from Paris without knowing what to do with my future, with all my life. But finally, I decided to race in Laseu's Spanish Championships 2 weeks before the World Cup. And I went, I did the race. The race was good. And also I decided to do the World Cup. I went to the World Cup just for having fun on the water, not too much training, but good times in the water. I went step by step in the race. Qualification run wasn't my best run, but it was enough for going to the semifinal. And then in the semifinal, I really felt comfortable in the water, and in the final, I tried to do the same. So I finished this season happy, really happy, because the season was long, was hard, and finally I gave my best. So I'm really happy with that.
That was Maialen Chourraut, winner of the K1 Women in Laseo. She talked to us from home in San Sebastian, Spain. Next, I took the opportunity to ask Olympic, world and European champion Jiri Prskavec from Czechia about his Laseo race. Also, a philosophical question about whether to stick or evolve a plan. And finally, I asked about the state of the course and river in Troia.
Obviously, the season was a bit disappointing for me, and coming into the last race of the season of the final World Cup in Seoul, I felt like I need to perform, need to put down the run I think I'm still capable of, and as I did, it kind of helped me, and it made me realize that I still got it somehow, and it will definitely give me some extra motivation to keep going, and I know the things I have to work on during the winter, and I hope I'll come back next year and have the races that I used to have. Looking back at the Olympics, it has to come one day. Obviously, like I think I was well prepared and everything was in the right place, but unfortunately I wasn't able to put down a clean run in the final, and so it definitely hurt. But also, now I know that in those 4 years I will want to be ready and prove that I can still show my best run in front of a huge crowd at the Olympics. And lastly, the Prague course is fine. We were actually pretty lucky. The floods were mostly east of Prague and Moravia and there. So Prague course wasn't affected too much. Well, it was all flooded, but the boathouse and the areas around are fine, and hopefully it didn't do too much damage to the obstacles, but it's probably fine, and we didn't lose much, so the course is gonna be ready for the next year and the World Cup.
That was Jiri Prskavec, K1 men race winner at the World Cup 5 in Laseo, Spain. He talked to us as he arrived back home in Prague, Czechia. So we can bring you the final results of the World Cup series for 2024. Winners are Ricarda Funk from Germany, Anatole Delassus from France, Jess Fox from Australia, and Matti Bennis from Slovakia. That makes it a third World Cup Series win for Ricarda Funk, a first for Anatole Delassus, a seventh and back-to-back win for Jess Fox of Australia in C1 Women, and a fourth World Cup Series win for Matti Bennis from Slovakia. Finally today, nice to welcome back Anatole Delassus to the podcast. He was the only K1 men athlete to make the final in all 5 World Cup races this season.
Yes, it's a really good season for me this year. I think maybe it's the best so far that I did. I won the World Championships in under 23 and the overall World Cup. So it's I would say a little bit unexpected because it's my first season in senior in slalom. So I'm really glad about the progression, but I know also that it's a special season because of Olympics. So all the guys wasn't focused on the World Cup, and I took only 1 medals on 5 races. So I'm glad and I take the positive thing, but I stay focused also for next year, and I hope that I could win the race in senior the next year. That's true. We have a lot of good paddlers in French and in all categories. The 2 last year we made a really good group of touring with Titouan and Benjamin. Our coach also Jonas Surmont. So I think it was a really good thing for us because I would like say when someone is a little bit tired, they both try to push him to surpass himself. I think it's a good thing, and also the coach Jonas is always trying to push us. He say every time that he wants more. We can do better. We can do faster, and he's looking every time for do better. I think it's a good thing, and we are all really ambitious for the next. So I hope it will be good for the next year.
That was Anatole Delassus, winner of the overall World Cup series in K1 Men. He talked to us from back home in Pau, France. And then returning to the topic of paddling through the ages and the polarisation of athletes' ages, perhaps the sandwich generation in canoe slalom terms of the 30-32-year-old group comprising Olympic champions Jess Fox, Ricardo Funk, Giordano De Janeiro, Jiri Prskavec and Joe Clark. Thanks to my guests today, Maialen Chourraut, Miquel Trave, Jiri Prskavec and Anatole Delassus. We will bring you a season wrap-up as well as another couple of special episodes. I'm John Gregory, thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people, send them a link, like, follow or write a review. And if you need more, keep reading Vittoria Valdi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.